Hey everyone, what's up? Sorry, I was just checking something out there. And First of all, good Thursday morning to you. I hope you all having a good one. As you can tell, this is a vlog, if you will. This is a vlog, just to let you know what's been going on lately and kind of, just shoot the breeze, if you will, on this Thursday morning. I have Thursday off, so might as well take an opportunity, especially since I got most of the day. And I've been up early because I slept well, which is surprising, but still. But yeah, I wanted to come on here and, like I said, kind of shoot the breeze a little bit, and just kind of talk about a few things, if you will. First of all, this past Sunday, the one of the best news I think for me personally is this past Sunday. Even though I didn't work, I celebrated 4 years. Yeah, I celebrated 4 years at my job. Um, that's my watch going off. There we go. But yeah, I celebrated 4 years at my job. Usually, when I celebrate an anniversary, it's on a day I work. But this is the first time I've actually celebrated 4 years at my job, and I wasn't working. But yeah, it's been 4 years. It's hard to believe, and I thank God for the opportunity, and thank the Lord above, God Almighty, Jesus Christ, our my Savior, for the opportunity He's given me over the past 4 years to be working there. And man, I'll tell you, a lot can change in just 4 years. There's only about, as far as I know, three people left from the hiring class that I was a part of. Myself, Tyler, who works mostly carts, which I was working when I began. I mean, well, when I began, and after I went to the CBLs and stuff like that, I did some cashiering, and then did some cashiering, and then they slowly progressed me, or well, not progressed me, but they slowly directed me towards the carts. Because when you fill out your application, or at least when I filled it out, it was for cashier and cart pushers. So yeah, I ended up pushing carts for a while, and then finally, I guess after showing that I can do good at that job, they let me get back into doing cashiering, and I've been doing that ever since. So I mean, on occasions, yes, they'll still send me out when they need help, or if somebody doesn't show up for the day, they'll send me out, and I'll still do it. But but lately I've been doing a lot more over the past several years instead of just that. Yes, cashiering is the primary job, but I've also been trained and been doing work with customer service in the customer service area. I've been working in layaway, which also serves as site to store. It's mainly set. Well, actually, it's the other way around. It's site to store, online shopping and pickups, but it also serves as layaway during the Christmas season. So I do that. I also sometimes, if they need me to, I will work the floor. Like the other day, my ZMS, my zone manager, asked me to take care of some grocery cart. I took care of that, and then when I figured, well, I don't know what else to do, because I usually, after I do that, I'd go back to my register, but we were slow that day, so which was a Tuesday, the day after President's Day. So I ended up basically, checking in, making sure I still signed on or kept signed on to my register just in case we picked up. And I took the home lines cart and took care of that. And then when I went back to take care of another cart, my ZMS saw me doing that, and she complimented me on saying, "Good job, good work." basically saying this is what you need to do. Dude, I was like, oh, basically, she was just glad I was keeping busy and not just slacking off. And I think it's because I had some rest the day before as well. So I don't really know. Um, but yeah, she was just happy that I was doing that and taking care of stuff. Yesterday was all right as well. I mean, it was slow, but not too slow. It's kind of mediocre. I mean, I was mostly on the register at times. Well, actually, I started out the day by doing carts because because Tyler, who I talked to, just mentioned, was going to lunch. So I was coming in. I was supposed to be at work at 11:30, but the one thing about trying to get a dollar ride is the dollar rides don't always work out in your favor. You know what I'm saying? So basically, um, I got in there just in time to take over for for him for about an hour, maybe an hour and a half. I kind of helped him out a little bit an hour and a half later. So yeah, I was so yeah, I just helped him out as best I could, if you will, for about an hour and a half. And surprisingly, it wasn't that bad. I mean, yeah, both sides of the store, both the grocery and the pharmacy side got low at times, but we were able to keep them steady and stuff. So like I said, we were able to keep them steady and not have to worry about anything happening that may or may not um cause trouble, if you know what I'm saying. So yeah, celebrating 4 years is a pretty big accomplishment in my opinion because um not many people can, and I'm not trying to be mean about this, but not many people actually last that long in retail, especially with a company like Walmart, especially if the store you're working at is a super center, which is a hybrid of grocery and retail and stuff. So, especially if it's supposed to be the biggest Walmart in your region, or at least in your county. So, yeah, it's like, it's not always an easy deal to do. It's not always it's like I said, it's not always an easy thing to do because you're you're constantly doing certain things um normally that normally that some people can and sometimes people can't do. I mean, you got to do jobs again for me, I've done jobs at that store like the ones I've mentioned even till well into the late night. And like I said, it's not easy to do sometimes. Hold on for a sec. I think my dog has to go potty. Hold on. Yeah. I thought you had to go. I thought you had to go potty or something. Anyway, no, but like I said, I'm sorry if I was rambling there. I was trying to do something. Apparently, Microsoft Edge doesn't do DeviantArt very well when it comes to trying trying to do something. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, again, I'm not trying to be mean or anything. I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but yeah, not a lot of people can do the jobs that can do the job that I've done. Um, can achieve at the job that I do or anybody else does, because especially if it's in a super center, like I said, which is a hybrid. And I know I sound like I'm rambling off, so I do apologize. But that's like a hybrid. It um, it's not usually for everybody. You know, it's not usually for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Not a lot of people can do that. You know, hold on for a second. Let me take something here. Uh, but yeah, but not. But the thing is, what I'm saying is that I've done things over the past 4 years at my job that even till late at night, it's like, whoa, this is amazing. This is like surprising to see. And so, yeah, it's again, not a lot of people. Yeah, somebody's honking the horn for somebody outside. But like I said, not it's it's, what I'm saying is I'm just kind of glad. I'm sorry for the distractions and everything, but I'm just kind of glad that I've been working at my job for as long as I have. And like I said, not a lot of people can do or can last as long at my job, at a job like what I do, for 4 years, if not longer. You got to have a patience for it, in a sense. You got to have a patience, like, oh, okay, I kind of get it. Is what you're supposed to do, because not a lot of people can do certain jobs that they're assigned to. Like, people can't really stand at a register for as long as they have to, especially if it's slow and they just have to zone certain things or make sure certain candies or little food items are not expired. Not a lot of people can do that because not a lot of people have the patience. Not a lot of people have the patience to do carts. And believe me, from personal experience, myself and my fellow associates that go out and help do carts or have done carts and currently do carts don't always have the patience, because what you're doing with the cart pushing is you're bringing in carts, and sometimes the customers that come in drive around that parking lot like it's nothing. They drive around it like they're impatient. They drive around it sometimes, especially if they're younger. They drive around it like it's a freaking raceway. I mean, the other day, several days ago, I was out there doing carts and I nearly got hit. I'll give you an example. Well, it wasn't necessarily that I nearly got hit. The carts I was pushing nearly got hit. The person that was driving the car nearly could have had an accident, which could have damaged the car, damaged the carts, maybe damaged the machine I was using, and in turn maybe damaged me. I mean, I mean, it's this close. It was this close. Because people drive through that parking lot sometimes, especially if they're younger, They're like, "Yep, I got to drive. I got a nice car. Vroom, I'm gonna drive. Look at me, how fast I am." It's like that's that's not what the parking lot is meant for. Okay, it's not meant for you to drive around like you're in a freaking racetrack. And those young kids or youngsters or people that just want to show off, they have to realize that's not what you do with cars. You don't show off because, oh, you got the nicest car, or you feel you have the fastest car. You know, you don't do that. You don't do that at all. So, to me, it's like I can understand, especially from personal experience, what it's like to have to do those things. And it's not to do that job, and it's not easy. Believe me, it's not easy. You know, it's not easy at all. Like I said, it's not easy. It's not easy at all to do. And I'm not saying any of the jobs there are easy. Believe me, they're not. Okay. Like I said, not all the jobs there are easy because they're not. And whew, I'll tell you, it's like, oh, for a sec. Yeah, he's shaking something out here. He's shaking out seven things on Facebook. I'm sorry. Uh, I'm looking here. I'll probably do a video on that later. Just checking something. Yeah, but like I was saying, um, basically, not a lot of people can do the jobs that I do. So that I or anybody else does, and you just need real patience for it. And like I said, when it comes to cart pushing, yeah, you definitely need patience. But again, it's not just cart pushing either. It's like any job. Sometimes customer service, you can have customers come in there and be like, they want certain things done now and immediately. We had one guy a couple of days ago. I was helping out, wanted to get a, what was it? Some kind of a refund, a pro rate on the battery he had, because his battery was supposed to be 5 years and it only went for 4. So our policy, our what we've been trained to do is we have to charge the battery to see exactly what the result will be. And in the end, if it says it needs to charge, it needs to charge. Basically, okay, here's the thing. We have a machine in the back that allows us to charge the battery. The first step it does is it reads exactly what needs to be done. If it reads out and says gives us an indication it can't be charged, we don't have to charge it. Can't be charged because it's dead or whatever, fine. If it says it can be charged, then we have to charge it. And it takes about an hour and a half or so. Well, the guy didn't want to wait around. He didn't. It takes about 70 to 20 minutes actually, but I mean 70 to 80 minutes. And he didn't want to wait around. He just said, "Give me my core with this for this new one I got." And that was it. It's like, dude, we're just doing what our job's telling us to do. You know, we're not trying to be rude or anything. But that's the one thing. Customer service can be a very stressful area at times because it can be easy. It can be one of the easiest areas, but it could also be one of the most busiest and stressful ones because you can have customers coming in demanding results right then and there. So I don't know. Yeah, just reading something there. But I know I seem distracted, but I'm just reading something. But yeah, basically, it's just, it doesn't matter what position I've been working in sometimes over the past 4 years. It's just been sometimes, depending on what position it is, it can be stressful, and there's no doubt about it. So, anyway, though, again, I thank God, I thank the Lord above for the 4 years I've had at the job because I'm just happy to I'm happy to be able to go somewhere and earn money and at times have fun doing it. Because you can have fun. Sometimes there will be moments where they'll just let us, you know, they'll just let us have some, have fun. And I'm not talking like, oh well, this and that. I'm talking basically the fact that you know it, we're able to we're able to just be ourselves a little bit and not have to worry too much unless it really gets busy, but then that's an entirely different story. So anyway, I'm just happy to be able to be working there for 4 years. And heck, somebody in Home Alliance wants me to go and work on their end of the store because they like me obviously as a person, and they would like to see me there with them. And I'm not going to say much, but because here's the thing with my history. I can I can detect an attraction between me and the fem and between me and a female counterpart, female friend, or even coworker, but that may be all it is, an attraction. Because most times I don't know exactly, whether or not they're married, they're engaged, they got a boyfriend. I don't know. So, um, but I do feel like there's an attraction there, but I'm not going to say whether or not it will amount to anything. So I'm not going to say anything else other more than that. But I'm just glad that I'm just happy that somebody wants me to go work in the department to help out. So, but yeah, I'm just thankful to be there for 4 years, and if the transfers would have worked out correctly back in 2007, and I was able to work at the Modesto store or even the Tracy store, I would have been celebrating 11 years. last August. So who knows? Maybe, God has a reason for a lot of things happening, and me being out of work for about 7 years is one of them. Okay, enough about that. Let's talk about. Well, I'll just get this out of the way. What I was looking at was the fact that I just found out, and I'm sure a lot of you know about this, the repeal of net neutrality, that law that they voted on, went into the federal registration, and it's officially going to become law by April 23rd. Or so it says. By April 23rd, basically, the net neutrality repeal is going to become official, and net neutrality will be dead. Or so we think. Because apparently there's a lot of states, from where I live here in California to many others, that are working around on the clock to establish their own net neutrality rules, because pretty much a lot of them are pretty much they and a lot of other people, senators, Congress people, House representatives, governors, stuff like that, people like that, corporations, they're pretty much all calling that this is calling out and saying that this whole repeal net neutrality deal is BS, and that it's got to cease to be before it really causes any damage. Now, I know some people are saying that, well, even if it becomes law. Now, I know some people are saying, well, even when it does become law on April 23rd, that it's not going to affect anybody right off the bat. And that's true, it won't. But you could start slowly seeing maybe a change, is what people are worried about. They're worried about the fact that you'll start slowly seeing a difference here and there. And even if you don't, you'll start seeing something pop up. Like maybe you'll go to your cable's webpage to pay a bill, and on the side you'll see an advertisement of oh, you want to have faster speeds, lightning speeds than ever before? You want to go to 7, 8, you want to go from 2.4 or 5, whatever, or 2.GHz, or something like, you want to go from 2.4 GHZs or gigahertz to 10 gigahertz? Here's the package just for that. And that's what they're worried about. So, honestly, I look at it this way. We have to pray and leave it in God's hands. And even right now, Ajit Pai is under investigation for some kind of collusion with Sinclair Broadcasting. So there's several silver linings at the end of all this. And I guarantee you, too, that when the next election comes around, which begins around next year, a lot of those Senate, I think even this year as well, a lot of those Senate members, a lot of those FCC members, a lot of those Senate members, House representatives, and Congress people that support the repeal of net neutrality are going to be gone. And I guarantee you, by the next time we have a new kind of rearrangement of House representatives, Senate seats and Congress seats, that this repeal of net neutrality is going to be brought back to the table, and net neutrality is going to come back. That's almost a guarantee. Whether or not we succeed, whether or not all these people involved are trying to, all these senators and people and everything that's involved to try to make sure net neutrality remains and is still fighting it and succeeds or whatever, I guarantee you the next election comes around, and the FCC is not going to look good in the end. Ajit Pai is not going to look good in the end. So yeah, I just say let's give it to God, let's pray, give it to the Lord, and I guarantee you things are going to work out for the better. because God has a reason for a lot of things, and you know what? Maybe what's happening right now is one of those reasons. So I'll just leave it at that. Maybe I'll do a video like I mentioned earlier later down the line about this, because it doesn't take effect until at least the 23rd of April, so we still have plenty of time. But even after that, it won't take immediate effect. It'll just be more along the lines of it'll legally give these corporations legally give these corporations the green light to do what they want to do if they do it. Um, but I seriously doubt that's going to happen, because again, if you have a lot of lawsuits going into place right now, you got states, you got governments, you got senators saying that this is not going to happen. We're going to make sure it doesn't happen. Then yeah, even if it goes into law at the federal registration, it's still got to go through Senate. It's still got to go through the House of Representatives and Congress. That's the thing. The federal registration may make it law, and people may say the nail in the coffin will be April 23rd, but it's still got to go through a lot more channels before it really gets to do what it wants to do, if it continues to succeed. Oh, if it succeeds in the end, I should say. So anyway, again, I'm just going to leave it to God and just hope for the best, because he has a reason for everything. And if there is no immediate changes, which there won't be, but if there's no changes in the long haul, maybe we're wrong about it, but according to a lot of people and from what people have noticed, seriously doubt it. So, because I look at it this way, the only way, like I mentioned one time when I talked about this, the only way that these corporations can prove us wrong is not to do a damn thing. Because all this should do is just allow them to open the door to let it happen if necessary. Not, oh, we're going to do it because we want more money. No. Opens the door to do something if necessary. That's the way I look at it. So, anyway, on to the other thing I want to talk about. I know it seems more like a topic on my mind deal, but I'm just vlogging, just talking. And the other thing I want to talk about is something that's really been bugging me. I did an apology video on the Video Game Wrestling Network's Facebook page yesterday and shared it in other CAW Career Wrestling League Facebook pages. I just don't get it. What is the point, ladies and gentlemen? What is the point, ladies and gentlemen? If you have games like this that allows you to create your own star, games like this that allows you to create your own star, create your own championship, stuff like that, then what is the big deal what is the big deal if those kind of games also allow you the opportunity to upload your character onto a community creations board and share it with the world? What's the big deal? Basically, when you upload your character to a community creations area in that kind of a game, or any kind of game similar to it, pretty much you're doing so by knowing that others are going to download it and use it. But here's the thing. You should also know that when they download and use it, if they have some kind of league, fighting league, wrestling league, football league, whatever, you should know that they're going to probably want to use that character or even that team. If you could create a team and share it on community creations, in, let's say, a game based on the NFL or the NBA or whatever, you should know that people are going to are going to want to use that team in the league. You should know that. You shouldn't be like, oh, well, you shouldn't be surprised right off the bat when you see, oh, wait a minute, why is my character in that person's league? Or why is my team in that person's league? I never gave him consent. Uh, Pretty much you gave everyone consent and permission when you put your character or your team up to be downloaded. You pretty much, what I'm saying is, you pretty much gave consent and permission all the way around when you decided to upload your character or your team onto that community creations board for everyone to use, to download and use if they chose to. You pretty much gave your overall permission. I mean, if you don't want your character or your team or your fighter, depending on what kind of game what kind of game you're playing that allows you to upload to a community creations like the WWE 2K games do. If you don't want someone to use your creation, your character, your team, or what have you, then don't upload it. It's as simple as that. Don't upload it. Don't upload it if you don't want people to use it. It's as simple as that. Because pretty much you are allowing, and I know I'm going to get people arguing about this, but you're pretty much giving your permission and your consent for people to do that. To upload your character and use them however they like. It's pretty much what you're doing. You're pretty much doing that. You know, and here's the thing, you should know better than that. You should know better about, oh, people might use my character or my creation if they download it. Maybe I shouldn't download it. And again, you should know better than that. You shouldn't be like, oh, well, you shouldn't come out and be shocked. You should be like, oh, they're going to use it. Okay, whatever. Or, I mean, well, not necessarily like that, but you should be like, well, I'm going to upload this to the community creations area and let people download it. Oh, wait a minute. People might use it for their own purposes. Well, I guess that's on me. Guess that's on me. And it is. It is on you. And I'm not trying to poke fun or anything, but it is on you when you pretty much when you pretty much do that, because it's like signing a contract. When you sign a contract, you're giving your consent over. When you sign a contract and agree to the terms and conditions of said contract, you're pretty much giving permission to whoever you're signing that contract to do whatever they want, or to do whatever they want with your permission. If the contract states, oh, they can use your likeness in promotional material down the line, even if, let's say, you're not associated with them and you're working someplace else, you're associated with someone else, they have the right to do so because you gave them your consent. And that's a fact. You gave them your consent. So arguing and saying, oh, I didn't give my permission, you didn't get my permission. Look, it might be valid and have some points in the end, if you will. And I was just reading something there. But basically you basically it's like I said, it's like signing a contract. You're basically giving your consent and your permission for someone to use your likeness in a promotional material. You should know better. You should know better than that. If you don't want them to use your likeness, don't sign the contract. And in this case, don't upload your creations to community creations. You should know better than that. Because honestly, when you do that, again, like I said, you are giving your consent to use someone's likeness whenever they want. Whenever they want, it's like signing a contract. You know, it's as simple as that. And there's a lot of people like myself that when we excuse me. Again, there is a lot of people like myself that when we download the characters, we don't mean any harm. We don't mean any any harm in what we're doing. We're just trying to be complimentary, saying, "Hey, look, we think this character is cool. We think this character is a great creation and should be utilized." We don't mean any harm or any meanness or anything like that. But what you're not getting at, but what some people are not getting at is they allow it to happen. When you upload your character, when you upload your character to some kind of creation area for others to download and enjoy and use, I know I'm being repetitive here, but it's pretty much you're pretty much signing a contract. By signing a contract, like I said, and agreeing to the terms, you are letting them. It's like if you. It's like when legends. It's like when legends. It's like when former WWE stars, alumni, sign a legends contract with WWE. You are basically signing. They are basically signing and giving permission and agreeing to let WWE use their likeness in any kind of promotional way. Even if let's say Ivory, who's going into the Hall of Fame this year, signs her Legends contract after around Mania time, and thus says, and thus in a sense agrees by signing the Legends contract that they can use her likeness any way they want in promotional material. And she ends up working, let's say, Shimmer. Even if she's like the GM of Shimmer in storyline, WWE can still use her likeness to do promotional material. Same with Jeff Jarrett, despite how people feel about him going in the Hall of Fame. And there's a lot of people. Jeff Jarrett can sign a Legends contract, and basically by signing it, even if he goes back and somehow miraculously works for Impact Wrestling, WWE can still use his likeness to promote certain material. The point is, that's basically what this is like. You are signing a contract when you upload your creation. Now, true, the difference between a contract and community creations is you can remove your character. I don't know how you're able to do that. Well, actually, I do. You can remove it. Yeah, they do give you that option to do so. But the point is, you can remove your character, and thus no one would have to be able to upload it anymore. That's the whole situation. That's the whole thing some people are missing out. When you're uploading your character to community creations, you're pretty much saying, hey, I give my permission and my consent. I've signed a contract to let you use my character any way you want. And people should realize that. People should realize that. I know it's a weird comparison or metaphor, comparison, I should say, but it's the truth. When you pretty much do something like when you pretty much upload your character or your creation to a community creations area in the game that you're playing, you're pretty much giving everybody consent to download it and do whatever they want. Unless, and maybe I'm going to give them ideas here, and I don't want to do that, unless WWE and 2K decide, you know what? Let's give everybody that uses community creations the opportunity to charge for the downloading of the creations. In other words, give them the opportunity to do microtransactions so that if you want to download so-and-so's creation, you got to pay this. Unless, unless they add that in future games in the future, that's the only way certain people could probably prevent their creations from being downloaded. And look, I totally understand how people feel. Heck, like I said, I went on Facebook, on those several Facebook group pages yesterday, and pretty much apologized for what I did. And yet, for some reason, they're not accepting that apology. But you know what's funny? I'm going to be 39 years of age. I'm looking at some of these people involved, and they're in their 20s, maybe the late teens. So now it kind of dawns on me. It dawns on me that they're at that particular point in their life that if they're involved in something like this, they don't understand the whole situation. Maybe they do, but maybe they don't. They're at that point where they don't understand that, oh, when you upload something to community creations, you're giving your consent. I'm just saying. Again, like I said, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just pointing out a fact. And the fact is, myself and anybody else that downloads characters like that don't mean any harm. We don't mean any harm, and all we want to do is how do I say this? All we want to do is basically acknowledge the great creationness that a lot of people put into these characters. But here's another thing. Okay? Here's another thing. Okay? Here's another thing, okay? I've played like I showed you, I've played those games. I played the games on 360 when they were under THQ, and even when they started to get under, when they were under THQ. Here's the thing. I think when they were under THQ, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was 2K16 or something like that. I can't remember. But I remember when I tried to download certain individuals, here's the thing. I would see certain characters. on the YouTube CAW leagues. And I would like to and I would think, man, I would like to download those guys. I would like to play them. And guess what? When I would look in the community creations area or the area where I could download them at, they wouldn't be there. I would even put in the name of the user and all that. They wouldn't be there. Why? Because that user basically is saying no. That user is basically saying by not uploading those characters, although they've uploaded others, they're basically saying no. We don't want you to use our character. We don't want anybody using a Pacific character. And that to me is probably the best solution. If you want to keep a character or creation established as an establishment for something that most people are used to seeing that creation in, then like I said, don't upload the character, don't upload the creation, because pretty much all you're doing is setting yourself up for people to use it in the future, and you may not want them to use it in the future, and that's a fact. That is an absolute fact. You may not want them to use it in the future, so don't upload it. And again, like I said, strange comparison, it's just like signing a contract. When you sign a contract with someone, saying, and said contract says that you agree to let them use your material, your likeness or your creation in any kind of promotional material they see fit, that's pretty much what you're doing with community creations. You're pretty much allowing them to do that. I mean, and look, is it the person that uses that creation maybe without consent? Is it their fault that they should have got permission right off the bat? Absolutely, yes, I agree. Yes, yes, it is their fault. But in turn, but in turn, it's not just their fault; it's also your fault, because you're the one that when you upload it to community creations have basically, by signing said contract, agreed to let them use your creation however they see fit. That's pretty much what you're doing. It's pretty much what you're doing. And I don't know if anybody doesn't realize that or they don't. You know, I don't know if you know that or you don't. So anyway, I thought I'd just talk about that, and maybe you guys could let me know what you think about it. You know, maybe I'm reading too much into it. I don't know, but it, to me, heck, I've had some people even come out and say, in my defense, that it's not a big deal. It's not a really big deal that this is happening. That he's using your character the way he is, because I think they pretty much see when they come to my defense, and so they kind of agree with what I'm saying. They're pretty much, I think, acknowledging the same thing. Hey, you agreed to let this guy use your character, however he said he seems fit, and you shouldn't really be mad about that. You shouldn't really be mad about that. You know, in fact, let me ask these guys right now in the chat, Jordan and Bobby. What are your thoughts on the whole situation? Huh? What are your thoughts on this whole situation? I mean, isn't it kind of, when you upload something to a creation, you upload a creation to some kind of community creations area in a game, that it's kind of like writing a contract, signing a contract and agreeing to the terms that you're allowing whoever downloads it to use that material, use that creation in any way they see fit, because that's pretty much what it's like. It's pretty much what it's like. You know, and and again, to me, it's like, I don't think they really understand that, and maybe now they do. But I came out there yesterday, like I said, I came out there and you on the Facebook group pages, and I apologized. I did. So excuse me there, but I don't know. But here's the thing. They need to expect this. They need to expect people are going to do this. And it may not specifically be with YouTube. PS4 gives you two other options besides YouTube to do a live stream on. And they need to realize that. They give you pretty much two other options. Those options are Twitch and Daily Motion. So they got to realize that perhaps I'm not the only one that's using their creations in a league that, oh, by the way, they can't really know. They probably don't know it's happening because someone's maybe using Twitch or Daily Motion. I'm just saying, folks. I'm just saying it's. I don't think they quite understand the situation. You know what I'm saying? But again, I meant no harm. Okay, I meant no harm. I meant no harm in what I did. So, anyway, enough about that. I want to talk about one other thing. Here. Oh, this is I know this is that. I want to talk about one other thing. As you all know, yes, I am a fan of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. I am a fan. I don't think there's any hiding that, if you will. There's no hiding that. But to let anybody know, I don't know if you can see this very well, but I did record Forgotten Friendship. How I did it was I DVR'd it on Saturday. I had to work, so I had to get ready to go to work. So I DVR'd it, and thank God, my mom didn't delete it, because sometimes she'll delete programs, to make certain programs that even I would record to make room for some of her shows or for what she wants to record. So thank God she didn't do it with this. But yeah, I haven't done a review on it yet because I haven't seen all of it just yet. But I will say that most definitely a lot of people pretty much tuned in to mostly tuned into that special to see the reunion of Sunset and Celestia. Even if you're not a fan of My Little Pony Equestria Girls, you pretty much tuned into the special for one moment, and that moment was Sunset and Celestia, and that was it. I'm not sure if anybody else continued to watch it or they didn't. But yeah, Celestia and Sunset getting reunited, I thought was cool. Thought it was really cool. But yeah, speaking of Sunset, I don't know if anybody's heard of this place. It's got a website. It's got an eBay store. It's called let me see what it's called. No, it's here somewhere. Oh, let me go to my Gmail here. This will tell me. Oh, it's Hexir, Hexir. Yeah, Hexir.com. They have an eBay store, and basically they are a wholesale store. Now, I'm not talking wholesale as, oh, well, wholesale with foods and all that. No, I'm talking wholesale to that in the fact that you can get just about anything at this place. And I don't know why they have an eBay store. Maybe it's easier or something or whatever. But, well, they do sell candies and drink, so I guess that makes sense. But they sell, from what I see, video games from current to retro, toys from plushes to decals, apparel, backpacks, clothing, decor, pillows, tabletops, snacks, computer accessories, mobile accessories, clearance items. and they're located in Ohio, I believe. I think that's where they're located at. I think they're located in Ohio. Let me see. Yeah, located in Lewis Center, Ohio. It's pretty cool. So, so yeah, basically, they're kind of like a store. I was watch. In fact, I think what they are is kind of like what Hello Anime in the mall in Chicago, at one of the malls in Chicago, is like. It's basically a home for some stuff that you would get that you normally would have to go to Japan or wherever to get, but they're mostly importing of third party stuff. You know, some of the stuff may be licensed and not licensed. So Hirex, Hexar is a good place to go. And I say that because what I did is I went on eBay and I'm thinking, well, if there's one thing like anybody else that I like about Equestria Girls, especially with this past special, is Sunset Shimmer. Overall, she's a good character, human wise, pony wise. But I think a lot of people are particularly fond of the more pony wide version of Sunset. So I went there, I went on the eBay and looked, and there's several Sunset plushes available. Some you have to get directly from China from OLY Factory, or you get from a place like Hexer. And that's what I got. That's where I got it from. And I looked at it. I thought, okay, probably the best opportunity I'm gonna have to get it, within state, within country. So yeah, I ended up getting the Sunset Shimmer plush. Yes. In fact, if I can get a picture of it real quickly. Let's see if my phone's charged a bit. My phone's charged a bit, so I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but get this on here. It's armed. Come on. Believe me, Deluxe man, if you're going to be watching this and taking your time in doing so, you're not the only one that sometimes has problems with the phone. I think it's I think sometimes with phones like this, it's the battery. I think the battery may be chargeable, but it's also getting a little like weak. Come on. But anyway, that plush right there, that's the one I got of Sunset Shimmer. And that's one thing a lot of people look at. They're like, well, it seems you can only get certain plushes and figures like that if they're non-associated. And here's the thing: I don't think Hasbro really minds. I don't think any company like Hasbro, Mattel, or whoever minds if third-party manufacturers and developers create these characters, because they pretty much know it takes a load off their chest so they can focus on other things, and it still gives fans something that's kind of semi-official, not totally official, but semi-official in the long run. So, yeah, I ended up getting Sunset Shimmer. It's supposed to come by Wednesday. I'm guessing, but by today or tomorrow, I'll get some kind of indication that it's going to be on its way. So, it'd be nice to have. I mean, I already have plush wise. I have Twilight, Rainbow Dash, and that little plush I got with the Valentine's Day bucket, as well as the pirate versions of Twilight, Rainbow Dash, and Pinky. And then in there, I have Luna, Celestia. I think I have two Lunas, or one Luna. I have Celestia. I have Applejack, Rainbow Dash from Fourth Dimension, as well as Rarity, and a few other ones. So I'm pretty good on those areas. But yeah, basically to finally to finally get something like that is pretty cool. But yeah, to finally get something like that's pretty cool. Uh, overall, I would recommend this place. Ace, I'll let you know how recommendable it'll be. From what I understand, a lot of people pretty much have had good business dealings with them. So I'll let you know what it's like when I get my Sunset Shimmer plush because I think it's going to be worth it in the end to have something like that. I think it's going to be worth it to have something like that. Let's see what this guy says. Guy's laughing about the fact that this is still a thing, this argument. I think the reason people are getting a kick out of this and laughing about it, honestly, going back to the CAW deal, I think they think that, as I believe, they're realizing, look, this isn't that big of a deal. But again, try telling that to some other people. But anyway, like I said, I'm looking at the plushes right now that they have, and this is on their own website, Hexen's website, and we got real Starlight Glimmer. I don't know what that means, but it's basically Starlight with a season 5 hairstyle or main style. Let's see. You got Berry Punch in there. You got Ali Zoro. You got Apple Brown Betty, which was in I think an episode. You got Celestia and Nightmare Moon. You got Sweetie Boom Zakora. You got Twilight Without Wings. You got Cherry Jubilee. You got Cadence. You got Cherry Lee. You got Scootaloo and Final Scratch. You got Flutterbat and Lyra Heartstrings. See, you got Big Mac. You got Starlight Glimmer again. Looks like it's with her current main style. Maybe I don't know. Got to look that up. You got Soren, Spitfire, Lotus Blossom, Bonbon, Trixie, Alicorn's Twilight, Baron, Rosala. You got Jade. I don't know who that is. Cider Pony. You got Cheese Sandwich. You got Button Mash. You got King Sombra. Red Heart. You got Rose Luck. You got Gilda. You got Mayor Muffins. Derpy. You got Ruby Splash. Holodash. You got Twilight Velvet, Twilight's mom. So if you want to get the whole family, there you go. I'll probably do that soon. You have Flitter, Firefly. I guess the G1 version of Firefly, which would be. I want to see that. I want to see Firefly from Rescue from Midnight Castle G1. I want to see her in G4. That'd be nice. You got Suri Olimare, Nightlight, which is Twilight's dad. Filaire des Lee. You have Alleyway. You have Apple Bumpkin, Daisy, Apple Fritter, Lord Tirek, Sunset Shimmer, which I did get. You have Cloud Chaser. Now I don't know why Sunset. Well, Sunset would probably be just as much. I don't know. You have Vampire Pinkie Pie. You have Luna Guard. You have Pinkamina Diane Pie. You have Sea Swirl. You have Coco Pomel. Party Favor. You have Jazzy. You have Sugar Bell. You have Candy Mare. You have Rainbow Dash, of course. And then number 4, because I think there's a whole bunch of these. No, it's only 4 pages. You have Discord. You have Spike. You have Muffins Derpy, Queen Crystalis, you have Shining Armor, you have Fluttershy, you have Philly Luna, you have Princess Luna, you have Rarity, you have Pinkie Pie, you have Applejack, and that's about it. So they got a good assortment there, a good collection. I will say that. They do have a good collection. So they have a search. Yes, they have a search area, a search where you can search items. But yeah, they have a good amount of stuff there. So it's HEXIR.com. So check that out. I think you guys might enjoy it. Yeah, but it's HEXIR. What's this? Okay. But yeah, I would check it out. I'm probably going to check it out down the line as well. But I might also go to buildabear.com because I got to get um, I got to probably end up getting Songbird Serenade and maybe Starlight as we know her right now. So I'll look into that as well. But Hexen, yeah, it sounds like a good place. Sounds interesting. I'm gonna see if they have any other any other MLP stuff in there. Let's see what they have. They have, of course, they have the plushes. They have beef bifold wallets. Okay, that's pretty cool. They have clutch wallet, messenger bag, messenger bag. I know what there's a Poyo plush in there, and that's about it. It looks like. But yeah, it looks like a good place. But looks like a good place, and obviously, like I said, surprisingly, they have an eBay store as well. So yeah, I'm finally. I guess I'm gonna finally get Sunset Shimmer as a plush here. Um, and I know a lot of people like, why doesn't Hasbro bring out an official Sunset Shimmer pony? They do have one, but it's not specifically the way you want. She's got like marks, like cutie marks or something like that on her. So it's something. I can't think of the name right now. But yeah, she's got cutie marks on there, and besides just her cutie marks, she's got it's like a Rainbow Rocks kind of deal, but she's in pony form. Go figure. But yeah, but yeah, finally gonna get it, and I think this is something that a lot of manufacturers like I said, I think this is something Hasbro's probably good is appreciative of because, like I said, it takes a lot off them so they can focus on some of the main stuff, but they still know that in some way their product or their product is still good, is still out there. Well, let's just put it this way: in some way, the properties are being acknowledged, if you know what I mean. In other words, people are getting more ponies than getting more pony merchandise, even if it's not from them. Just figuring. And you know what? Here's the thing, that even plays in to what I talked about with the CAWs. Hasbro could easily sue a lot of these third-party manufacturers, but they don't. They probably have some kind of agreement with them to allow them to use the likeness of the characters to create these third-party items, because again, it takes the pressure off them. I'm just saying. And Hasbro could back out any kind of silent agreement they may have with them, allowing them to do this. Who knows? But yeah, I'm gonna finally get Sunset Shimmer by the middle of next week, I think. So looking forward to that. And lastly but not least, let's talk about credit cards. Oh boy. More specifically, store associated credit cards and how you pay them. You know, when I set up my payment plan for my credit cards, or my payment method of my credit cards, I went by what they told me. I looked up the routing number, found it, and I thought I did good. But apparently the routing number was not correct, even though I downloaded it. So I went onto my online, I went online to my bank and onto my account online and found the routing number there. And I used that, and lo and behold, guess what? It's the same one from what I saw, except this time it works. I don't know what happened previously, but this time it works. I don't know if I pressed the number wrong or missed the number, but this time it worked. Because apparently the routing number ensures that your account number's last 4 digits match up. Go figure. So anyway, I paid my bills a little bit, got a little delinquent, got a little late on them, a little bit of a delinquency, but I was able to finally bring them up to speed and pay them. But here's what's crazy about this. Unless you do it in person, apparently, I'm guessing, you gotta wait about 5 freaking days before it finally shows up on your bank statement. You can check online and you can notice, well, why hasn't this been taken out? Why hasn't that been taken out? Guess what? You gotta wait 5 freaking days for them to even take the money out. Thus, in a sense, you are stuck having to pretty much calculate and minus that payment you have made on that credit card away from your account or off of your account because of the fact that it doesn't show until about 5 freaking days later. I mean, what the hey? You know? What the hey? I mean, if you're not going, if you're going to let people pay online or by phone or whatever, shouldn't it automatically go in like right off the bat? You know, I'm just saying. Shouldn't it go in like right off the bat? I'm going to check right now. Because usually what I have to do is, it still says the amount, but what I have to do is I have to take the 2 payments I made and basically subtract them. Is what I got to do. I got to take the 2 payments and subtract them from what from what that is. So the 2 payments combined equal around 113, and what I have in there, I basically got to subtract. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Yeah, that's about right. But yeah, I have to subtract them. So it's kind of weird, you know. It's like, you know, it's obvious that if you do it in store or it automatically goes in and gets acknowledged. But if you don't do it in store and you do it online or by phone, it takes a while. Or even by mail, it takes a while. This doesn't make any sense to me, folks. Does it make sense to you? I don't know. But yeah, credit cards. If you keep up with them, they're a blessing. You don't keep up with them, they're a curse. That's pretty much the way I look at it. But I look at the pros and cons of it. The cons, like I said, is you don't keep up with it, it's a curse. And it kills your credit. You keep up with them, but if you keep up with them, they can be a blessing because this way you're using what company that said credit card is tied to or affiliated with. You're using the money it's loaning out to you, and thus what you would normally spend out of your wallet, if you will, what you would normally spend out of your wallet doesn't get affected. So thank goodness for that. Thank goodness for that. So anyway, yeah, they can be a pain and they cannot be a pain. Go figure. But that's really all I'm going to probably say for this vlog. I know it's been a long one. I do apologize for that, but thank you all for tuning in those that did. And thank you all for tuning in post live after it's been uploaded. Take your time and watching this and listening. Give me your thoughts on a lot of what I talked about here. And really, that's all I can say on this Thursday morning. Hope you all have a good one. And that's going to do it for this vlog. And I will talk to you all later. God bless. Take care. I'm out.